Today, I'm gonna play around and create an F1 top-down game. I've never done anything like this before, so yeah, we're gonna see how far I can get it. Currently, I just found sprites, and it looks like this one is good. I'm splicing it into 74 by 188 pixels grid, and then set it transparent. Car sprites. So we're gonna create a car object. It's a boring game name. F1 car racing sim. Can't be more generic than that. We need to delete all these wheels. Wheel is 12 by 24. And then the car itself is, I think I have the grid size, 74 by 180. 74 by 188. So the car will have 4 wheels. So we have wheel front left and wheel. We have 4 wheels here, right, bottom, rear, left, rear, right. Alright. Let's just draw it as red and blue first. No, this one is black. Actually, I forgot. We don't need the rear left and rear right. Yeah, already in this. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna align the wheels on that. I'm offsetting it by -6 pixels by half of this and half of that, just so that the center of the wheel is there. When we draw something, usually the origin is at the 0, 0 is on the top left. So I wanna offset it so that the origin is at the center. I also want to offset the car itself. So now the origin is on the top left. I want to make sure that the car origin is close to that driver's seat. So this is going to be in the middle of the screen. We're going to create a game loop as well, which updates its rendering. There you go. So now if I steer left and right, I want the wheel to turn as well, right? So first, let's listen to the keyboard event. Again, up, down, left, right, and then ZX. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use left and right for steering, and Z and up for acceleration, and X or down for brake. So we need heading, where the car is heading, and then that's where the wheel will turn to. And that could be like an angle as well. It's just an angle. And then we have their heading, max heading. So the car wheel can only rotate as much as between -45 degrees to 45 degrees probably. It can't rotate like 90 degrees. And then there could be like steering speed as well, right? And then we're gonna introduce like steering acceleration so that the curve for the steering is gonna be like, if you tap the steering key, the left or right key quickly, then it's just gonna steer a little bit. But then if you hold it, then it's gonna steer like that. As you hold it, it's gonna be like, we need a control as well. This is gonna store the state for what is being pressed. So for example, is accelerate, and is brake, is steering left. Actually steering. So this could be like -1 or 1 or 0, whatever, right? Let's say steering force actually. So if it's arrow up, then brake control is accelerate is true. And this is brake, but then you can't press both at the same time. If you do press both at the same time, we're gonna prioritize brake. So this is steering force is, let's say, just -1 for now. And then we'll do gradual steering force later on. Okay, now we're gonna copy this, put it in, I release it. When I release the keys, so it's no longer accelerating, and the brake is no longer braking, and then steering force becomes 0. We're gonna create a visualization for the speed and acceleration and the brake and whatnot. So we're gonna register ourselves what key has been pressed. So since we only care about arrow up, true or false, and down, left, right, and then Z and X. So this just grabs what are the keys that I've registered here. If the key is registered, then we're gonna do that. Left and right is not pressed, the steering force should be 0. So we want to rotate it by how many degrees? So if it's -1, it's -45, it's 1, then it's 45. And then we're gonna turn the wheel based on the player heading. Maybe I should do left 7px and top 48px. And this one is right 7px and top 48px. So now it's not affecting the transform, so I can do the transform. Okay, I want to check why the heading is not working. Okay, there you go. This is wrong. Should not be register key. Register key is just this thing here, whereas the key presses is the one that has the value. Okay, no. So now, there you go. Okay, so what we want is right now is if I press left, that's way too drastic, right? So what we want is if I tap it, it just goes a little bit. If I hold it longer, then it goes like we have a steering acceleration. The steering acceleration will be the additive value that gets added to the steering, to the heading. So let's say if the steering speed is 0.01. Let's play around with these variables later. All the steering should be here in the player control. The steering acceleration and steering speed. So we want the player control steering force keeps being added by the steering. Instead of changing the steering force immediately, it changes the steering acceleration by steering speed. The player heading is the steering force times the max heading. That's not fast enough because we want to say if it keeps pressing it, it should keeps the acceleration should actually keep going higher. So I'm gonna start simulating the steering acceleration. Alright, I think I'm happy with that steering so far, even though there is probably slight inaccuracies there. But now let's start accelerating it. So acceleration can go minus and speed also can go minus. So the max speed of the car in terms of pixel, maybe 2 pixels. The speed is variable. All right, so we'll use the velocity as the speed itself. The speed means that it's the rate that affects the acceleration. So let's say it's 0.01, we can tweak it later. We're actually reducing the acceleration. Yeah, okay. I think that's good. Now we've got the basic variables. I think we're ready to move the car. I'm gonna just move it around the viewport like this, and then we're gonna probably start thinking about panning of the camera. So we'll split the camera view or the camera space from the actual rendering space. First, we're gonna update the player position. Maybe I should start using radians instead of degrees here. So let's just fix that quickly. The speed itself is just a heading times the speed. So we need to know what the heading direction is. Okay. Let me see, make it a little bit. I don't know what the correlation is yet, but I'm just guessing with values. So if as I brake, it doesn't turn as much. Okay. One thing that I want to try is zooming it out. Yeah, that's good. Acceleration needs to be a little bit more realistic there. The acceleration is too slow. Oh, what if the steering is actually less sensitive as you go near max speed? Okay, let's see. As we hit max speed, yeah, see that? Whoa, yeah, as we hit max speed, well, I lose the steering. So it's more sensitive when you are on a lower speed. It's less sensitive when it's on nearing max speed, which is great. Yeah, that's good. And then this should be shoot off a little bit so it never reaches 0. So it should be player max speed. At least we want to give it 0.2. I don't know. So what we want to say is we want to interpolate this to be between 0.2 and 1. Yeah, that's good. So if I brake, it can rotate, and then if I reverse, stop and reverse. Reverse this one. Woo! Okay, reverse. Maybe 5. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'll stop that for now. I think I'm happy with the physics so far, even though it's rather simple. Feels like it's not thrifty. And then after this, we'll come back and I'll probably do the infinite scroll with some track. There's a lot of constants that needs to be turned into variable, and I need to understand why those constants work the way it does. But I need to go to lunch. Right, back here again. This is part 2. I'm gonna start looking into the infinite scrolling. I'm gonna put some tracks on it, and I've been lucky enough to actually found this downloadable SVGs for some of the F1 tracks circuits like Bahrain, Silverstone, Abu Dhabi, Albert Park in Melbourne, and so I've downloaded all this and put it as SVG here. So let's start adding the track. All right, I'm gonna create a new file called utils and put the load SVG and put it into the track element. Okay, we need the Z index of the track to be at the bottom. We should probably put it inside the game. And if I were to scale the track, let's see if that works. All right, so what we want now is the track to be moving and then the car to be always in the center of the viewport. So let's do that. So it's in the middle, and then if I move, the car should stay in the middle, but the track should actually move, or the entire game should move. So if the camera is always the same as player X and player Y, we can play around with this variable later so that it can ease in and out and whatnot. This is always going to be on the camera, and instead of calling it update viewport, we can call it update camera. And so camera.x is always pointing to the player. Yeah, that's wrong, right? Because it needs to be minus. Yeah, that's cool. So I want the origin to be always half viewport width and height. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Whoa, okay. So I can't see far enough. So I need to zoom out, right? It would be nice to have like a dynamic zoom, but that's okay, that's later. So let's have camera zoom. Is that too small? Oh, it's because of offset needs to be affected by the camera zoom. Whoa, okay, the brake needs to be probably more responsive. Acceleration needs to be more responsive as well. It would be nice to have sliders to actually change all. Ah, yeah, that's more responsive, and yeah, I can brake, but then the friction is still okay, so I can cruise along. That's fine for now. So what we want is when it hits the green line, I want it to slow down a little bit. So I'm wondering if there's any easy way that we can do that instead of having to trace the track and whatnot. There's this path, and that path, and that path, that path. So let's see if we can actually refer to the road. Okay, so we'll rename this to road friction, and then we also have off-road friction. So process steering, and then we'll check here before we apply the friction. So if it's off-road, then we use the off-road friction. Otherwise, it use the road friction. Yeah, this one is off-road. That one is, yeah. This black is way too harsh. Maybe it should be lighter. Yeah, that's better. So that one is the actual road. true, false, true, and false. So that's true, and that's false. And then true, false. Let's go for the horizontal one, true, false. Okay, that's good. So that's slow. Go back to the track and it will become fast. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. But if I hit, ooh, that's way too punishing. That's good. But then if I go outside, yeah, let's slow down. Let's slow down by a lot. That's good. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I wonder what else we can do. Maybe change different color, set different parameters for different colors. Maybe. What about the background itself? Yeah, that dull color is better than white. So if I key down comma and dot, okay. Ideally, each of these car would have different configuration, personality. There's so many more things that I want to do here. Ghost mode, racing lines, but I think I'm tired. It's Sunday. I want to rest. Watch some movies with my kids. Oh, you know what? Let's have the ability to change track as well because we have a lot of these tracks. Let that be the last thing we do. Constant of track names, and I wonder if I can just do this right click, copy, and then put it here. An array of track names. What would be another good shortcut? And we'll probably need to print the legend so people can actually know what to press. Ooh, there is 9. We can say load track 1, load track 2 by pressing the number. So okay, so if I press 3, 5, ooh, wow, I think this would be cool to be able to play multiplayer. But hey, web sockets and whatnot, not ready to sink more hours into this yet. All right, what else can we do? Oh yeah, legends. Okay, I think I'll stop there for now. All right, I do apologize. I didn't realize that all this time I was recording without sharing it as a video clip. So the game in the demo was really not smooth, but as you can see, it's actually performing at a good frame rate.